إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا يا رب العالمين. We thank Allah Azza wa Jal and we praise Him subhanahu wa ta'ala for His blessings. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make us of those who are thankful and grateful to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala for every single blessing Allah has granted to us. Allahumma ameen. Going back to our topic, talking about the fiqh, the concise presentation of fiqh of the Sunnah, the noble book, Al-Wajiz fi Fiqh al-Sunnah wal-Kitab al-Aziz. And we talked last time regarding the chapter of inheritance. And as I said, it's very important for us. Alhamdulillah, we covered most of it, and just a little bit left for tonight, inshallah ta'ala. And last, just to recap it, last thing we talked about was those who have the right to receive to the estate, and how much was the furud in there. And we said there are 6, which is 1/2, 1/4, 1/8, 2/3, 1/3, and 1/6. And we mentioned that for each category, how much they get. We mentioned that the 1/2, it's 5 categories, which is the husband if his wife didn't have children, the daughter, the granddaughter from one's son, and the full sister and the half sister from the father. And then we mentioned 1/4, that there are 2 categories: the husband if the wife has a child, and the second if the wife if the husband doesn't have a child. Then 2/3, who gets a 2/3? It is number 1 and 2, 2 daughters or 2 granddaughters from one son. 2 daughters or 2 granddaughters from one son, the Banatul Bint, they get 2/3. 3 to 4, 2 full sisters or 2 half sisters from one father, they get 2/3. What about 1/3? Goes one category, the mother, if there is no category blocking her inheritance. We said 1. And 2 or more siblings from the mother's side. Then we talked about 1/6, which goes to more than that. It's the 7 categories. The mother, if there is a child or brothers, so the brethren. The grandmother, if the mother is no longer alive, she gets 1/6. Number 3, the child of one's mother, male or female. So the walad al-um, as they say. Number 4, the granddaughter, one's son with one's own daughter. If it's only one daughter and there is another and the granddaughter. So walaikum salam. So her father, for example, passed away, so it's the daughter and the granddaughter. In this case, she gets 1/6, and the daughter gets half. Why? To complete 2/3. Number 5, the half sister from the father in the presence of a full sister. Same thing like the daughter and the granddaughter. Number 6, the father in the presence of a son. He gets 1/6. And number 7, the grandfather if the father is no longer alive, because the grandfather is considered as the father. So that was how much they get from the Quran, the portion of how much they get the right for the estate. And tonight, inshallah, we're going to continue with some other things called al-asaba. Al-asaba in general, or it's in Arabic language, it's a plural of al-asib. Asib, like talib, we say student. Asib. And they are the tribe and the relatives of the man from his father's side. Al-asaba, it is the tribe and the relatives of the man from his father's side. But what is meant? It is meant here. What the scholars mean in this case, in the inheritance, al-asaba is man yusrafu lahum al-baqi ba'da akhdh al-ashab al-furudi furudahum. It is the person to whom the remainder of the estate will go to after the predetermined inheritors receive their shares. If a person has left behind son, daughter, wife, mother, whatever. The shares are that Allah Azza wa Jal has determined for them in the Quran, how much they get. If anything is left other than these shares from the inheritance, then it goes to what? Al-Asaba. What is the Asaba? It's the relatives of the person from his father's side. So what is left goes to, that's what the remainder is called Al-Asaba. If there is nothing left of the estate, meaning that everybody took his share and there is nothing left. If nothing left of the estate, the Asib will receive nothing in this case. Unless he happens, one case, unless he happens to be the son, in which case him also being the Asib will not prevent him from his inheritance. He's the son, he is the Asib, and he takes from what Allah has determined to him, and he takes from the Asaba, so he is not prevented in this case. Furthermore, the Al-Asaba are entitled to all the estate if none of the predetermined inheritance exists. Let's say the person did not leave like immediate relative of the person, which is the son or daughter, brothers, or wife, mother, husband. If none of them is there, meaning none of them exist, all of them died, then Al-Asaba, which is the relatives of the person from his father's side, they take all of the inheritance. Whatever is left, they take it, all of the inheritance. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, he narrates the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. قال ألحق الفرائض بأهلها فما بقي فهو لأولى رجل ذكر. ألحق الفرائض بأهلها فما بقي فهو لأولى رجل ذكر. Hadith in Bukhari, Muslim, and Tirmidhi. Says, give the inheritance to its rightful recipients, those who Allah has mentioned them. Whatever remains is to be given to the closest male relative. That's al-asaba, closest male relative. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, وَهُوَ يَرِثُهَا إِن لَمْ يَكُنْ لَهَا وَلَدٍ. If such a deceased was a woman who left no child, her brother takes in her inheritance. Usually, if the child, if his son, and the brother is there, the brother doesn't take anything in this case because the child takes it. But because there is no child and she passed away and nobody else, then her brother takes inheritance because the brother is relative to the one who passed away. Thus, all the inheritance has been ascribed to her brother when he is the sole heir. The remainder of the asaba are to be dealt with an analogous and in the same manner that we mentioned. What are the categories of al-asaba? What are the categories of al-asaba? Al-asaba is two categories. Number one, al-asaba al-nasabiyya. Number two, al-asaba al-sababiyya. Asaba of blood relation. And second, asaba due a specific cause. Asaba of blood relation, we talked about, and asaba due to a specific cause. Now we start with the second one because it's easier. The asaba, which is due to a specific cause, is that which results, as we mentioned before, regarding what? Slave, freeing a slave. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, Al-wala'u liman a'taq. The wala, clientage, that he is the master or the Sayyid, is for the one who did the freeing, the one who's freed the slave. The Prophet ﷺ also said that wala is kinship, like the kinship of blood. So if the master, he is related to his slave, is the same like he is related, like the people are related to one another because of the blood. So the freed slave inherits only if none of the related asaba are present. The freed slave, if he is free, he will get if others from the asaba are not present. It makes no difference whether the freed slave is a male or female. Abdullah bin Shaddad, radiallahu anhu, he narrates from the daughter of Hamza, radiallahu anhu, who said, مات مولاي وترك ابنه فقسم رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ماله بيني وبين ابنته فجعل لي النصف ولها النصف. He said that my ex-master died and left behind a daughter. ex-master, because he became what? He became free, because he freed him. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ divided up his wealth between me and his daughter. He gave me half and gave her half. And he was a freed slave. But he took from his inheritance the ex-slave, ex-master, because there was no other one related to him. So the daughter took half. Usually that's faridah from the Quran. And what is left as asaba, because he is considered related, even if he was his ex-master. Gave her half. Now that was the asaba from the second type, actually. The first type is asaba regarding the blood relation, and can be divided in three categories. Asaba, which is related to blood relation. 2 or 3 categories. Number 1, asaba binafsihi. Asaba due to one's own relationship, because he's related to the person who passed away. This refers to the men who inherit from a person except for the husband and the child of the mother, half brothers. So this asaba binafsihi refers to the men who inherit from the person except for the husband and the child of the mother, which was considered like half brothers. Asaba bighayrihi. Asaba due to another person, not because you are related, but due to another person. This refers to the daughters and daughters of one's son, granddaughters, full sisters and half sisters from the same father. Each of them in the presence of the brother is considered asaba. She will receive half of what the brother receives, based on the words of Allah, وَإِن كَانُوا إِخْوَةً رِجَالًا وَنِسَاءً فَلِلذَّكَرِ مِثْلُ حَظِّ الْأُنْثَيَيْنِ. If they are brothers and sisters, the male will have twice the share of the female. If there are brothers and sisters, the male will have twice the share of the female. Number 3, asaba ma'a ghayrihi. Asaba in conjunction with another person. This refers to the sisters with the daughters. Based on the report from Ibn Mas'ud that we mentioned, the remainder is for the sister. The remainder is for the sister. If there is a daughter and there is a sister, so the daughter will get how much? 1/2. It's in the Quran. What is left to complete 2/3, which is because daughters and the sister will take 1/6. So they complete both the 2/3. So that is the asaba. How many types of asaba from blood relationship? We said 3 types. 1 is because of its own relationship, that every man who inherits from the person except for the husband and the child of the mother, then walad al-umm, half brothers. And asaba due to another person, that refers to the daughters and the daughters of one son, full sisters and half sisters from one's father. And number 3, in conjunction with another person, it said daughters and sisters of the deceased person, daughter of the deceased person and a sister of a deceased person. The last topic in the inheritance is al-hajb wal-hirman. Al-hajb wal-hirman, blocking and preventing. What do you mean by blocking? Somebody might block, the person might get something from the inheritance, but because some other person is alive, he cannot get or get less than what he was supposed to get. Al-hajb in Arabic language means blocking something, specific individual, when al-mana', it's something which is blocked. In Sharia, blocking or al-hajb means whenever a specific individual is completely or partially blocked from his share due to the presence of another hair. Is completely or partial blocked to take his share due to the presence of another hair. Preventing or block, that's al-hirman or al-hajb, it said blocking, or hirman, preventing. Preventing refers to a specific person being prevented from his share due to a cause that denies him the right of inheritance, such as murdering the deceased and so forth. We talked about that la yarithu al-qatil, Prophet ﷺ, the one who killed the deceased, even if he's supposed to get his share, he does not get the share. He's been punished for that. So this is one of the reasons, because he is prevented. He's blocked and he's prevented from taking his share. Why? Because he did the cause of not taking it, which is he murdered the deceased, be that his father, be that somebody which is related to him. Blocking al-hajj is two categories, two types. Hirmanu or hajj nuqsan wa hajj, that's hajbu nuqsan, that's the partial blocking. And partial blocking refers to the cases in which the share of the hair is reduced due to the presence of another hair. He's supposed to get, let's say, for example, half, but because another hair is present, he will get half of that. This occurs to 5 groups of people. 5 groups of people. Number 1, the husband's share is reduced from 1/2 to 1/4 in the presence of a child. We mentioned the ayah. If there is no child, the husband will get 1/2. If there is a child, so his wife passed away and there is a child, then the husband, because of the child, he is blocked from getting 1/2, and he will get 1/4, half of it. The wife's share is reduced from 1/4 to 1/8 in the presence of a child. Same thing, same case. Number 3, the mother's share is reduced from 1/3 to 1/6 if the deceased had sons or daughters, descendants. If the person passed away and he had left child behind, children, the mother will take 1/6, or the father would come. The mother will take 1/6. If he had no child, the mother will take 1/3. Number 4, the granddaughter from the son. The granddaughter from the son. Why will take? Why? Because there is daughters or sons, and they will take their share. Number 5, a sister from the father. A sister from the father, because maybe that there are other sisters which are full sister from the father and mother, and in their presence she cannot get what she would get if they were not there, because they are closer to the deceased. Now this is what partial blocking. The other type is complete blocking, meaning that the person doesn't get anything. The complete blocking means that the person loses his share completely due to the presence of another hair, such as the brother losing all his right to inheritance in the presence of a child. If the person passed away and he left behind 3 children, 2 daughters, 1 son, and he has 1 brother or 2 brothers. Now his brothers or his brother will not get anything because he has 1 male son. If he had 2 daughters only, the brothers get portion. But in this case, the brother is blocked completely from the inheritance, even if he's very close to his brother, because that he left behind a child which is like male son. The complete blocking does not occur with respect to 6 categories of hairs. There are 6 categories that they cannot be blocked completely, although they are susceptible to partial blocking. They can be blocked partially, but they cannot be blocked completely. These are like that. Number 1 and 2, the parents, father and mother, can never be blocked completely, but as we mentioned, can be blocked partially. Instead of getting 6, they can get 1/3. The father and the mother. Number 3 and 4, children, sons and daughters, cannot be blocked completely, can never be blocked completely, as he said. And number 5 and 6, husband and wife, we just mentioned, the husband and wife can be blocked partially, can take from 1/2 to 1/4, or from 1/4 to 1/8, but they can never be blocked completely to not take from the share. Other than these, a person could possibly be completely blocked from his share of inheritance. Other than these categories, other than these people, they can possibly be blocked. Complete blocking, how would that happen? Is blocked or is based in 2 principles. Complete, so the person can be blocked completely. Number 1, People connected to the deceased through another person do not inherit if the other person is still present. Thus, the grandson via a son does not inherit if the son is present. One more time. Did you get this? People connected to the deceased, not directly, but through another person. So the grandfather passed away. Do not inherit if the other person is still present. Thus, the grandson via a son does not inherit if the son is present. The exception is the children of the mother who inherit along with her, although they are connected to the deceased through her. Only the mother. The children of the mother who inherit along with her, although they are connected to the deceased through her. That's an only exception. Number two, the reason why can a person be blocked. يعني الحجب الكامل. The closer relative takes precedence over the more distant relative, which the one who is closer to the person who passed away takes precedence over the distant relative. For example, the son blocks the nephew. In the presence of the son, the nephew cannot take, unless if we remember the wasiya al-wajiba. If you remember, we talked about the obligatory bequest, wasiya. If the person has 3 sons, and during his lifetime, one of his sons passed away, and he left behind children. Now the person, which is in this case the grandfather of these children, passes away. Now the deceased, now the grandson is blocked from the sons, his uncles. He cannot take from the furud. He cannot take from the parts that Allah portions Allah Azza wa Jal had decided. But he can take what? He can take up to, as a bequest, to the portion of his father who passed away during his lifetime. But it's up to the brothers to give that. It's good. That's what they call wasiya wajib. And many of the Muslim countries, laws, the civil laws, they have taken this. They have made it like, that's why wajib, they have made it obligatory to give to the grandson the portion that his father or the granddaughter, whatever, his father or her father would have taken if he was alive after the death of the grandfather. If they are equal in degree, the one stronger in closeness take precedence. Like what? If they are equal, are the same level, the one who is closer take precedence. Like brothers. You have a full brother from the mother and the father, and you have a brother from the father or the mother. Who takes precedence in this case? The full brother. Now, from mother and the father. They are one degree, درجة واحدة. But whoever is closer takes precedence, so he blocks completely the other brother because he's closer to the deceased. So that was regarding inheritance. Obviously, this book is made in a way which is like the easiest for the beginners. That's why there's not too much to or not a lot, just whatever we need for the person who is a beginner and a person who, like normal Muslim, they should know. Because if you go over all of these that we mentioned, for every single thing, you have opinions of the scholars. They put, like, we have mujalladat, and they have written a lot regarding this and what situations and how to count, doing the math and stuff. But this is in general, that's what every Muslim should know regarding that. So that regarding the inheritance. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us beneficial knowledge. And I remind myself and my brothers regarding the inheritance to be just. Because a lot of people nowadays, they don't fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as we talked before, we mentioned, they let people, maybe he doesn't like one of his sons, some contradicts with him or something happened, and he excludes him from the mirah. Or his daughters, maybe brothers regarding sisters, it's okay how they do. It's he left it hours and things like that. That need to be, because Allah Azza wa Jal will he doesn't love and doesn't like justice injustice, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So need to take care of that. And there was a question, for example, one person, he asked and he said, our father left one piece of land, 5 acres, let's say. And but I spent a lot of money in that piece of land, and what were needed. So that what should we do now? This everything, and it is going to be spread and given, divided by all the heirs. But I spend a lot. What should I do? And tell the brothers and the sisters, because I have spent, and that's the case. It's considered that in this case considered like a debt. So this person, he will take whatever he spent in that land, because it was his money, even that was left by the father, and then he will take his share, whatever is left. If he's like in this case a son, he will take his share from the rest after taking his money. They can be sell that piece of land, or the brothers or sisters, they can pay him before selling that land and then giving the share regarding that. But it's very important for us to be just in wasiyah, in the bequest, and in the mirath whenever the time comes for us to leave this worldly life. I ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to grant us blessed wealth, health, and children. Allahumma ameen. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inna kunna min al-zalimin. Sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi sallim tasliman kathiran. Allahumma ameen ya rabbil alamin.